morning. Welcome to this week's market outlook video. Let us straight away go to the Nifty chart. I have Nifty chart in front of my screen, as you can see. And last week when we discussed, I think we discussed about we were here at this pin bar, okay, and our bias was on the bullish side because market were moving up, then had taken a pause, but had made a good bullish pin bar kind of formation. So we were expecting some move on the upside, and that move came. That move came really fast and now kind of has traveled some distance also, almost from 15,750 kind of levels. We have tested the levels of 16,275 to be precise. So that's an interesting move, and it was quite an happening week. I hope you were able to make some money trading on the long side. Now what? So our first target was to fill this gap. We are expecting Nifty to at least fill this gap. So Nifty has filled this gap and in fact moved slightly higher from there, which is okay. It happens. It is not like something it is not cast in the stone that this only this level should be tested and not otherwise. So it has moved there. On Friday we saw mild selling from the higher side. I mean, in the opening there was a selling, but overall if you see, still there is a buying from the long side on the long side also, the closing. So the closing was almost I would say it was a flat candle because selling came, but it was absorbed in the evening, and then we closed almost at this level. Now what? So see, first target has been achieved. Now, in my view, we cannot just say that this rally is over, but there would be some pause, consolidation, and some pullback is possible. Now, if that pullback comes as and when, no, give and take few points. So the level we will watch, first level we'll watch is roughly around 16,000 odd levels we want to watch. Okay. uh, and and before along with that, I would like to just discuss some Fibonacci projection. So if we assume this move to be an ABC move, right, because we are expecting it to be just a corrective rise, so ABC kind of formation we have. So this ABC has already come, and generally we assume that A and C are going to be equal. Okay, so A is equal to C. Now if we take A is equal to C, I have already put the Fibonacci extension no, here, and you will see that the A is equal to C target comes near 16,255, and which has been achieved. Market went slightly higher but closed below that. So our first target is achieved. Now it's not necessary that market always stops at 1:1 ratio. If it wants, it may extend. It may extend towards 1.236 and even 1.382 kind of level. In that case, the higher target of 16,400 to 16,500 is feasible. But right now I am expecting some pause and consolidation, and we have to wait for market to give us further clue as to whether it wants to take some support and again rise on the higher side, whether it makes this as a intermediate top and moves on the downside, etc., etc. So those possibilities there. So right now the view is that market will take a pause and will see some pullback. Now whether this pullback is shallow or deep will tell us what to expect next. Okay, so that is about Nifty. So on higher level, 16,250 to 16,300 is the resistance zone. Let me mark those, maybe write down those levels. So on the higher level, immediately 16,250, 16,300 is going to be the resistance zone. Okay, and on the lower level, roughly around, let's say 16,000, 1605 kind of level may act as a support zone. So right now we will work with this support and resistance zones, And let us see market consolidation gives some small moves on the upside and downside, and from there it will we take. Same bank nifty actually outperformed nifty, and it did a, I would say, a lot of heavy pulling, which helped Nifty to rise so higher, along with other sectoral indices. But if Bank Nifty wouldn't have performed this much, it may not be possible for Nifty also to go this higher. So first target was for Bank Nifty was also to fill this gap. So Bank Nifty definitely filled that gap, and on the next day, as you can see, now it actually opened higher than this first target, and which is considered quite bullish. Whenever a gap market jumps a gap resistance, okay, opens higher and starts moving higher, it it turns quite bullish, and which happened with the market. It turned bullish, and so on that day we had a quite a big move from even after opening 550 to 950. So 400 point moves after opening. Overall gap was quite big. Next day also, on Friday also, we saw a no kind of further move on the upside, but it faced some resistance. Same with Nifty, and from higher it was lower, but again there is a week also which is positive. Now if you see some levels here, and also this swing candle and its high, there is some resistance here, okay. And otherwise overall resistance on the higher side comes near 35,600. But Bank Nifty right now seems to have given a good move. I will just use Fibonacci extensor tool to also see that if this is also a uh, corrective move, and if this is a one ABC, so A, B, and C. So here if you see, C has already breached the 1:1 ratio, 34,937. So 35,000 was the round number target, but it was actually able to jump and move higher. Okay, so now immediately Bank Nifty on a very short term may take support near 35,000, and if that breaches, then we will look for this lower supports of, let's say, 34,500. If 35,000 seems breaching, 35,000, 34,950, and Bank Nifty starts moving lower, then we will look for lower target of 34,500 odd levels, and so on. And if Bank Nifty is able to sustain its no strength and move higher, then on the higher level, of course, 35, 400 to 500 kind of levels will act as a resistance. I am telling it based on the Fibonacci also, plus based on round numbers, and that there is a congestion zone here. Okay, there is a congestion zone here, so it can stop here at the higher end of the spectrum. It can stop at 36,000. But I think same with Nifty. Bank Nifty should or may also see some consolidation, pause, and a pullback. Okay. So for that pullback, we are deciding the target. Now there is one more way to for that pullback to watch. So I will just clear this for now. What we do is we put from the last swing low to the recent high, we put a Fibonacci retracement tool. uh, if Bank Nifty has stopped here, I mean this rally temporarily has stopped here, and we have started some pullback, then we expect the first target of 34,750 odd levels to be retested, and below that the minimum target we expect is 34,428. So 34,500, because there again our gap zone will also come. So round about 34,500 kind of levels can be tested if Bank Nifty has already completed this move and moves lower. I think it may take some time. On Monday, it is probable that market takes some time to pause, consolidate before we see a move. Even some higher move can be possible, both in Nifty, Bank Nifty, before we can move it down. Or if there is a gap down, and then we start seeing some selling and important short-term levels are breached, then only it can be confirmed that we are seeing some pullback. Right now we will consider all this down move, any down move, as a pullback, while we will consider this resistance to for indices to take a pause near those resistance levels. Okay, this is the only clarity right now I have. So we have to wait for further clues in the market from tomorrow or day after. Okay, now let us look at Nifty IT. So we have discussed all the indices have performed, some as expected, some not as expected. So we have discussed that, you know, IT will also see some up move from here, and it has seen on 2 days it saw a up move. On Friday we saw some selling. I think especially in TCS we had been seeing some selling because it has already completed a move, and it was about to announce its results, so which came yesterday post market hours. So that is why there is some pause and wait and watch approach for the market. So currently what is happening, it has faced resistance at this level, right? At this zone it has faced resistance. Okay, now if it wants to move up, it has to clear this resistance and move higher. Our minimum target was 29,000. Right now it has stopped at 28,500. Possible that, looking at the TCS results and what reactions the market wants to give. Okay, I don't know what reaction market will give to TCS. We'll discuss TCS later on. Based on that, the bank Nifty may even decide to stop here and see some further pullback. Okay, and that can happen. So it will be a result reaction, but otherwise other stocks may perform. I think TCS results are just about okay. Uh, so Nifty Auto, uh, we had discussed that we are discussing for some time that Nifty Auto is trading very bullish, and especially after it has broken this resistance level. No, it did some consolidated here, but then eventually gave a breakout. Last week we had drawn this line, which seems like a multi-year high, at least all-time high almost, and market tried to breach that level, but immediately saw a sell-off. So generally these kind of levels are not broken at one go, but I would like to show you the weekly chart. So if you see weekly chart, the weekly candle is really strong. At higher level we have a small wick because we saw some selling once it tried to breach this level, but otherwise the closing is strong. So here also it is possible that there may be some pullback consolidation, because what happens is market breaches higher levels, then generally falls back into those levels. Uh, Takes some time, pauses, retests some earlier, earlier which were resistance as support. Once that support is confirmed and a new fresh move starts and breakout comes, then generally a lot of traders enter into the market. So that can be possible, but right now I think we'll just see that what happens. So maybe some pullback and consolidation, and then some, if rally starts again, so then it can be a fresh rally. It can give some fresh breakouts also. Till then again there will be some pulse and consolidation, some pullback in stocks which has moved up no, quite high, is also possible. So keep in mind we are expecting some pullback consolidation in lot of indices. Pharma didn't do much, but yes, some of the stocks like Sun Pharma and all that, even Apollo Hospital moved higher. It saw some move, but beyond that, right now, nothing much to talk about in pharma. FMCG we had discussed, and I said that it is quite looks quite exciting. Especially we have seen this candle, the way it approached the resistance zone after facing resistance many times, and the breakout was imminent. It happened on the next day itself. 34, 38, 800, 900 kind of levels of easily breached, and it moved higher, much higher, to test levels of 41,000 plus levels. So, and you might have seen that lot of FMCG stocks, including ITC. ITC also strongly participated in the rally in the initial days of the week, and now it is also going into a consolidation zone in my view. Against very bullish. So buying will come, because once, as you know, that once a trend starts, a strong trend starts, it is not going to stop in a hurry. Okay, it is not going to immediately stop. but definitely after a sharp move at some point, maybe some level higher also, we will see some consolidation and pullback, and some short-term traders will come and do profit booking before we see some further move. Okay. As for Fibonacci projections, okay, I will remove the other one. I think even this one. Sorry, okay, I deleted the wrong one. And as for Fibonacci projections, if we see, it has completed. So I am taking this as a 1, this as a 2, and this is a 3. Then 3 generally extends to 1.618 to even 2. I mean, there is no definitive rule, but 1.618 is considered to be the minimum extension. And it has already done. It has faced some pullback, some resistance and consolidation here. If moves higher, then we can go towards 41,800 kind of levels also, and before we see some pullback. Now the levels to watch is, now what you should do is, first we'll just assume that this move has actually ended here, I mean temporarily, and we are seeing some pullback. So for that pullback, it has to consolidate in this zone and slowly first test the level of 40,300, and then followed by 39,750 kind of levels should be retested before it starts resumes a move on the upside. Yeah, okay. The pullback may be deeper also, but right now looking at the bullishness, I am expecting only a minimum level of it. Suppose it moves slightly higher before it starts, a pullback, then we have to simply pull this Fibonacci retracement high swing point to the higher side, because it is not possible to say that it will just stop here, here, or here. But after such a rally, some pause consolidation comes. One more big candle also may be formed, which we have to see in the live market, especially if you are trading intraday. Unless you are trading positional and you have already made your position at least at this breakout level, then it is well and good. Otherwise, you just wait for a pause and a pullback. Okay. Uh, Nifty Metal. Okay, we were expecting some up move for quite some time. It took quite a lot of time, but in last 2-3 days, actually Nifty Metal also participated. Not too much, but we saw some traction on the higher side. But again, the sell-off has come. So now Nifty Metal, because on the fundamental side also, if you see, the a lot of commodity prices are correcting sharply. The likes of copper, aluminum, nickel have seen a sharp fall from that early to 2022 highs. Only steel is something which is not, steel prices, the global steel prices have not fallen significantly, around 10%. Rest may have 20, 30, and even 40, 50% correction from higher levels. So that way I think, and metal sector is cyclical in nature. I have told this earlier also, and that cycle, if you see, whenever you have some doubt, you should always first go to higher time frame and see that cycle has begun somewhere from here. Okay, in fact I would say here there was a move because of corona and all that. Again the move came on the downside. On the weekly it was a long duration double bottom, and from we see a very sharp rally, right, from the levels of 1500 odd levels to towards 6,800. So this is a huge move. Okay, and now we are seeing a correction or a pullback. Now, obviously, some pause is expected here, somewhere here, and then a pullback. Rest only markets will tell. Okay, because if global, because there are lot of talks about global recession, a mild one, but recession in the US and even in the European countries, and that is the time when metal sector suffers a lot. In fact, copper is considered a proxy to recession. So people who are taking global macro track copper prices very closely, and copper prices are not showing a good picture. So of course, then some of the steel metal stocks will suffer here also. So this is about the overall major indices in the Nifty, Bank Nifty. Time to pause and consolidate broadly, and some for short-term traders. there will be trades on either side also. Uh, so now let us move to the some of the stocks. Actually, I don't have many stocks to discuss because right now I am as we are expecting that at least I am thinking that I need to watch market for 1 or 2 days what it does, whether this corrective move has ended, whether it has more legs, or whether it is something different we have not yet considered. uh, that's it. But we'll just discuss some of the stocks we had discussed. So in auto, okay, we are expecting Tata Motors to do better in coming days because it has not participated in rally while a setup was built. So we discussed Tata Motors at this pin bar level, okay, and from there if you see it has given a good move. I think in auto sector Tata Motors overall gave a really good move, and which actually gave really good trade. The only reason to identify or follow this kind of setup is that out of entire automobiles sector stocks, which stocks to trade, because you cannot trade all the stocks, right? So where to take position, that is a major decision. Otherwise doing analysis is easy, but how to pick stocks, and for that you have to do some deliberations and considers. And if you are prepared with some of your stocks, and then you are ready to take that as and when that comes, right? So in Tata Motors you might have seen that some good good move and good trades came, okay. So you have to be ready with analysis pre-market, then only you can utilize this kind of moves, okay. And it helps both intraday and swing traders also, so that to keep in mind. M&M has done quite well, but no, we have discussed earlier that I was expecting that at higher levels some resistance may be faced, and actually it has happened that on Friday it gapped up huge, but then saw a huge big sell-off, and this big sell-off is with big volume, and this is a no kind of it. This is a big candle. This is a big red candle. All right, so now it is possible that there may be some consolidation and a kind of a attempt to move on the higher side, but it may see some pause also and a pullback on the downside. Actually, based on this candle, I will try to find out at least intraday shorts in bank in M&M if possible. That may not come easily because on weekly chart it is still okay, so it is still has closed bullish, has closed higher. Of course, from higher levels some sharp sell off has come. Now this can be operator driven also, where some entities may want to enter the market and then they are just creating some kind of short position. It may be possible. So but intraday it is okay. Intraday, if you find good setup, you can trade intraday on either side. It is good because once a down move has started, okay, we have discussed quite some time that once some down move has started, there may be a pullback and then there may be one more leg of down move, so that may some trade may come, okay. uh, Rest, if you see Maruti and all that, I think all stocks are likely to take some pause and consolidation uh, there. Bank Nifty we already discussed, and if you see the bank, definitely banking stock participated wholeheartedly. We had discussed two stocks. One was Axis Bank. I mean, we had discussed these stocks to have extra focus, and Axis Bank has performed. There were some hiccups in between. It didn't went up at one go, but nonetheless it participated in the rally. And if you see from the levels we had discussed, 640, it has reached a level of 675, 80 kind of levels. So overall, it was a good move. And same with the case with Bajaj Finance, the other stock we had discussed. We had discussed that after this bullish up move, we are expecting further up move, uh, moving towards the levels of 6,000. So almost first levels has been achieved, and after a consolidation of a day or two, it again gave a breakout on the higher side. Now again, some more upside may be possible in these stocks, but as I told you that immediately I would like to take a stock of the market and see some pullback before I take further decision. ICICI Bank also performed quite well. Okay, in fact, it was one of the best performing because it is currently considered to be the one of the best fundamentally strong stock in the bank nifty. HDFC Bank, because of its I think merger related issues and some issues related to business also, is not performing as good as it should be. SBI also participated in the rally. So I think the stocks I focus is SBI, maybe Axis Bank, Bajaj Finance and ICICI Bank. And if you want, you can add Kotak Bank uh, also. So these are the stock I follow, and generally you get good trades out of these stocks. IT, we discussed that it participated in the rally but not as wholeheartedly, maybe because of the upcoming TCS results. So TCS saw some sell off, then again there is a pullback, but now the result reaction will come Monday morning, that is tomorrow morning. So we have to see, and this may decide some so tomorrow IT stocks will be in focus, and if um, and we have to see that how those stocks react in the market. Okay. So till then I will just be either wait and watch or be on the sidelines and trade only intraday. LNT, we had missed this talk. I watched this but didn't discuss, but it has given a good move. Now there may be some further follow up, but I would like to wait for some resistance to be hit and some pullback before we can take a further call again. There is a dividend date on 21st of July, and then there is earning on 28th of July. So now this month is going to be an earnings month. Okay. Maybe we can discuss Reliance also. Reliance, we had discussed that it will fall. I mean, it will take a pause here and consolidate it in zone. Immediately, there won't be an up move and probably not a down move, which has happened. It has consolidated in this range only, and we are expecting that it won't go significantly below 2350 kind of levels broadly. And as long as that is held, Reliance should see some uh, pause, a consolidation, and then a move on the upside. So we have to again wait and watch whether that happens or not. Okay. Immediately, I think I will wait for, because there is a support also nearby, and I'll just wait for that support to be held. Some bullish, some formation is being made, and once a setup is built, we will see. If it breaks on the lower side and shows tendency to go on lower side, no harm in trading on the lower side also, but have to wait and watch. Metals, as I already discussed, I mean the sector is doing okay, but the likes of Hindalco and all that, now there may be some further up move after a consolidation, but how far it goes is still we have to decide, because there are a lot many factors that play when it comes to metal stocks. FMCG, we discussed that of course many of the FMCG stocks perform quite well. We had discussed Asian Paints earlier also, that we are expecting some up move. So this up move completed some pullback, but then there was a sharp move on the upside that came on the back of sharp drop, some good drop in the crude price also in the early part of the week. Britannia and HUL and all that performed quite well. Intraday, I think they will still keep giving trade, but otherwise there may be some pause. Okay, ITC may try to move towards 300, but overall I think there may be some pause here and there, because sharp rally has already been there, and then we'll see that where it goes. All right, and the last thing we discuss is, let us have a look at the crude oil. So as expected, and the factor played out from here, the crude fell sharply from almost one after touching 120 uh, uh, odd levels, and then from there it fell sharply. We were somewhere here, I think, last week, and we expected that as long as this level acts as a resistance, and then we are expecting to prices to fall towards 100 odd levels. It fell towards 99. From there it has seen a bounce, okay, in the last 2 days, uh, possibly one more leg of down move to here is possible. And then the more importantly, where it stabilizes. If it is able to stabilize somewhere near 100 or lower, that would be a good for market. If again starts moving on the higher side, that will be considered as negative. So more importantly, where it stabilizes. We definitely don't want the higher levels to be sustained, and we want the lower levels to be tested. Okay, if we see, okay, wait a minute. If we see weekly time frame, let us say 1 week, say a weekly time frame. Okay, so in weekly time frame we are seeing a move from April 1, 2, 3. So some kind of up move seems completed. I think we may see some consolidation and then a fall on the downside. That is the expectation, hopefully. But as long as 100 is held, it can move, keep moving in this 100-120 zone also. If starts trading below 100, that would be positive for the markets. All right, friends. So good week that has gone by, and of course, I am sure next week also will come with some good trading opportunities. Only thing is, because we already have seen some good up move, we have to give market some time to digest that move, uh, pause, consolidate, or maybe see a pullback. So design your trading plan accordingly. All right, with that, I'm closing today's session. Standard disclaimer that this video is just for learning purpose and not an advice to trade or invest. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Bye.